Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Show to Be with Mike G, the show of life, the show of skateboarding, the show of Blackheart, the show of Beauty Bar, Longview, Tennessee. Lots of interesting things as today's guest grew up the son of a preacher man. He is infamous. He has an amazing personality and persona on the internet. So much so that Jeremy never reveals his last name. The episode you're about to hear has actually been edited to not reveal Jeremy Snowman's last name. He's got Blackheart under his belt as an owner. He has Proof and Cooper under his belt as an owner as well. And then just late last week, the third personality, the third child, Kitty Cohen's on the east side, an homage to family, an homage to the 70s and having a good time, just opened up. Can't wait to check the place out, and I hope everybody got back from Tales of the Cocktail in one piece. It's a nice time to sit back, not drink, and hear about other industry personalities, brilliant ones at that, with Jeremy Snowman.
Where do I fall? I fall maybe 180 degrees. You know,
You can see them, but you're faced the direction, right?
Yeah, you know, I was actually removed from school.
Why is that? Or are we talking middle school or high school?
No, I made it to my sophomore year. My dad actually came to me one day and asked me literally if I was done.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you? Is it a matter of not being kind of stimulated by it, or you just had other things that you'd like to pursue? Or
school just never was a good fit for me.
Yeah.
You know, I managed to get a lot of things I need by the time I was literally a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
My dad and mom took me out of school. About a year later, I took some junior college courses for a couple of years.
So
and
you kept moving forward.
I did. I mean, a little bit. You know, I think I always knew school always felt like a kind of a jail to me.
Yeah.
It just was very confining.
Well, you're probably a pretty bright kid, and you're like, I don't want to really operate under these confines. Or is it something else? I mean, is it just like
later in life I found out that I have a form of dyslexia.
Oh, okay.
So it's not the particular form that is the right to left reading kind of form.
Right.
It's more of a processing. So I process information in a different way.
Interesting.
I encourage people, you know, to maybe look into dyslexia a little bit further.
Yeah. If someone had kind of looked at your academic career through that lens, do you think it would have been different?
Sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much different actually.
But did it matter? Like looking back at it now, does it matter that someone didn't kind of intervene and say, actually, hang on.
Well, you know, I would like to think that that I would have liked to have gotten similar opportunities.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as do I feel like I missed anything? I don't feel like I missed much of anything.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's all that really matters.
For sure.
Anyhow,
for sure.
And so I imagine you really entered the workforce kind of at a young age.
I did. Probably like anyone, you know, you start at, I worked at a fast food place, but the place I worked at was a Szechuan house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, that's at least an epicenter of flavor.
Oh, yeah.
Presumably.
It was amazing, actually.
And this is still in East Tennessee, yeah?
No, actually.
Okay.
No. We've jumped way ahead. I was in, my dad went to seminary and eventually graduated and got a job in Longview.
Oh, okay.
So when I was about, I don't know, what's third or fourth grade, however you're.
Oh, yeah, okay. So eight, maybe 8 or 9, something
yeah,
like that.
I was going to say 9.
Okay, so he's like, all right.
Moves the whole
done.
family.
Let's get the whole family. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we uproot and moved to Longview.
I know how that feels.
Yeah,
I did that exact move in third grade, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so some weird things happen, and it's
sure.
cool because, man, if you look at it now as an adult, it's an amazing opportunity to kind of reestablish roots and stuff. But as a kid, like, there's really nothing to me that was more terrifying than that.
It's I don't have necessarily like really strong memories of that time.
Yeah.
I definitely have memories of being a bit of an outsider for sure. I think that
Yeah. Well, just it's implicitly like that.
Yeah.
Because you really are an outsider. You coming from
for
Tennessee to Longview. You know,
right.
You're not very old.
No.
All these little fuckers, they grew up with all these kids.
Right.
You know?
All the same kids they've known, since day one.
Yeah.
I think with those small communities like that, it's very tight knit. You know, it's I have so many friends from Longview that live in Austin now. It's kind of hilarious. Oh man,
that's crazy.
I would dare say at this point I know more Longviewites in Austin than I do in Longview.
That's insane. Did you bring them over as part of like a band, a traveling band?
No. It's like I think of immediately off the top of my mind, I think of the Terrell family. Jonathan Terrell, who's in a bunch of different bands here in town. I've known Jonathan pretty much all my life.
Really?
Yeah. His family went to the same church that my dad was a pastor at, so it's like naturally, you would have those connections.
Is that the career path then? So you finish seminary and then become a pastor? Is that
for him? It was a youth minister.
Okay,
and then he was a pastor.
Gotcha.
Basically, there's any number of different ways. I don't think there's a have to kind of thing, but
it's different routes and things
for sure.
But you guys were maybe it's safe to say you guys were at church every Sunday. Kind of.
I was at a church every Wednesday, pretty much all of my life actually, in a church. So
how'd you? I mean, because this is an interesting thing too, because I just remember a bit of the discomfort I felt being in churches sometimes. Love forced into it, but it wasn't a family thing for me because my parents weren't that way. But like, was it it's got to be a cool place to meet peers, right? Like hang out with kids and stuff.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
That was the wrong question.
Think of how to. Yeah. I have some lifelong friends still, which is pretty crazy to think about. I may even have some lifelong enemies, and
that's good too.
In a funny way, though, not in a
frenemies.
Kind of a harmful thing. But I think growing up in a church probably prepares you for a lot of things. There's a little bit of the reality of what's going on behind the scenes, and the reality of the actual community, of what's going on there as well. I actually recently have drawn a lot of comparisons to what it is like to be at a bar.
Okay, well that's actually pretty
sure.
Yeah.
I think there's kind of you kind of have your parishioners, the people that are your regulars, and you're kind of having these interactions with them on lots of different levels. From extremely personal to light and fun, and
sure.
I think.
Some of which is a kind of like performance based.
It is very much,
right? Because I think about delivering a sermon, which I have yet to do, and I suspect it's at conflict with my inner moral core. But that's just me, right? But it seems like it would be fun. It is like stand up in a sense, except the punchlines are moral punchlines.
Yeah.
This is my feeble understanding because I didn't grow up in the church.
Luckily for me, my dad, Dwight, tends to view life mostly from the perspective of that we're living in this gray area. So, I think the predominant thing in his ministry, wow, this is kind of an interesting conversation. Would be that you're human, you're flesh and bone, and you're
fallible.
Yeah, you're going to make a ton of mistakes every day.
Yeah,
and it's actually more about how you recover than it is, how you may judge yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that's good, but that's good. I mean, even to a lesser extent, you can't make mistakes. Like you don't learn anything if you don't make mistakes.
Sure. Yeah.
That's how math is, from what I hear. Not to reduce. Rumor has it. Yeah. Not to reduce a whole system of thinking or morality. Yeah. But it is that way. That's a good paradigm to have.
Yeah, and I think it's I think it works. I think it's actually been I don't think I actually realized how beneficial it was to me until fairly recently.
Really?
That understanding that life is quite often lived in this gray area.
Yeah. When it's who do you think it's up to to give it, to disambiguate it, to create that path? It's up to us, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's
kind of navigate through that.
I think some people would say your moral compass, or your oh man, what is the words I'm looking for?
Like an ethical barometer, like all these other kinds of things.
You can apply to any kind of aspect to it that works for you, I guess,
So it's good to hear that at least even up to this point it was quite influential. That it was a foundation for you.
My parents still to this day are active parts of my life.
Yeah, so, that's amazing. Mine too. Yeah. And a lot of times you'll find that's not the case. Like there's lots of, broken's it's like a derogatory term, but frankly, like mixed households, broken households, like a lot of people that I talk to, it's a kind of a very similar genesis to the story.
Sure.
Yeah. Like, well, dad left, my mom followed him for love. That's how my own fucking biography is. Like my mom following a brilliant guy at that, but still like following him for love. So it's great to hear that they're still together. They're still believing this thing and kind of sharing it.
Yeah.
Was there a point in which you're like, because school didn't work, right?
Right.
Self-admitted. It wasn't really working. You probably could do these things on your own, perhaps. I just got to work. Was there a similar kind of confrontation with the church life too, where like, I kind of need to get out of here?
Yeah, no, for sure. I was probably not the best fit for that as well. I kind of cringe saying something like the black sheep of the whole thing, because I really don't think of myself that way. I think I was just probably an inquisitive kid.
Yeah, which is weird because sometimes the people that are inquisitive, you're the person, you're the subversive one, right? Like,
right?
It totally is like
it's not that I was trying to be subversive. I think a lot of it came from just an innocent place, for the most part. I definitely always found myself drawn to the outside world in the sense of beyond the
like
quote
the
unquote
larger world,
pine curtain kind of phenomenon that we were growing up behind.
How did working at the Szechuan place play into that? That's actually kind of an interesting just launching point. That
was around the time when I was about 17. I think I got that job. So I was 16, 17. Definitely a cultural shock. I think of like some of the food that I was exposed to at that time. Just having no idea. What. And
this was in Longview as well?
It was. Yeah. I'm really working hard trying to remember the name of the place, but they were tremendous people. It was a family that
Szechuan in a million. That's what we'll call it.
that works for now. But
it's a bit long-winded, I'll admit. But
and it's like we sold plum wine through the window.
Oh, yeah, all right.
As long as that straw was intact.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And so you're 17 doing this?
So frowned upon, I would say, at this point. But,
well, plum wine is great. Who's going to frown upon that?
What isn't these days?
That's true. That's very true. Did you see kind of a future, like, in an interest in that industry emerging when you're doing that?
I around that same time, 16, 17, I don't know, what your hometown was like, but mine had like the teen club kind of thing. And,
okay. Tell me what that is. I don't know that I do know.
Teen clubs are, where I grew up, teen clubs were just bars basically that shut down on like a Sunday night and just opened up to the teens, basically.
Okay. Yeah, no, we didn't. I don't think we had those.
Yeah, so in Longview there was a couple of them. One notable one in the beginning called Monaco's. Excuse me. That made a pretty big impact on me as a kid.
Tell me what's the setup? So you're saying it's like a Sunday night?
Yeah, usually it's Sunday.
Sodas and stuff, or there is booze, or there's a keg, or how does that work?
At that time, it was a $5 cover.
Okay.
You got sodas and stuff like that. Yeah. It was primarily a dance club kind of scene.
Yeah.
They would bring in DJs sometimes. Sometimes it was just local stuff.
Yeah.
I assumed this was a phenomenon that was everywhere. It's funny, I've never really thought about it.
It totally could, but I didn't grow up in Texas, so it's maybe.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's a Texas.
Yeah,
thing,
it could be. I mean, it could be a Southwest thing too. I don't
could
really
be.
know.
Yeah,
but that's good. I mean, they're providing a safe landscape for kids to get foolish for some dudes, some of those rogue guys to bring a flask in or whatever.
There definitely was that. I mean, those early experiences, were definitely the introductions to, ecstasy and mushrooms and weed and stuff like that. Which is kind of funny to me to think about because I was pretty naive to that sort of thing. It really didn't hit my radar for some whatever reason. That's not why I was there.
Yeah,
I think I was actually more interested in the girl aspect of the whole thing.
That's what you learn later in life. It becomes about a girl. It's not the ecstasy, right?
Yeah, I was really into that aspect of things. The nightlife, I definitely remember being impacted. Just like and literally thinking like, wow, I could see myself doing something like this, which is hilarious to think about, now, now that I'm, I forget 43.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I would have never expected.
Well, yeah, I'm 43. And so it's funny to think about that naive, Jeremy at that point in his life.
Long time ago.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a good point. It's formative years, I'm sure.
Yeah. It definitely made a huge impact on me.
When you were thinking about, I mean, it's cool because it's like this kind of, this cultural event, let's say, that opens your eyes up to maybe the larger world. Does that just even further whet your palate to try to go and expand and maybe travel, do other stuff?
I think for me, skateboarding and BMX were primarily those outlets of like seeing the outside, world. Which was good. I think of how far that whole like kind of that culture has come. It's like those are the cool kids. And it's like when I was growing up, you could have easily gotten your ass just whooped,
right. Absolutely.
Just for
like it fucking any of that stuff.
It's crazy.
It's insane. Yeah. It's basically been it's been reclaimed by like multinational corporations, which is kind of cool because that's how that's one of the things is briefly like how fashion works. Ultimately, is like takes a movement.
It does.
Ooh, we're gonna like just kind of tweak it a little bit and sell it back to you as if we didn't just copy it from the people that we're selling it back to
on that street level.
That's right. It's so crazy. Yeah. Well, so what was you're a skater then?
I did both. I skated and rode BMX, which led me down kind of an interesting path in life.
Yeah.
I ended up in the cycling industry.
Really?
For a number of years. Yeah.
What in what capacity?
I started off in a shipping department of a place called Burley Design in Eugene, Oregon.
Oh, cool.
For the better part of my 20s.
Really?
And I worked my whole way through the place and ended up in the frame fabrication area.
No shit.
So I learned how to build frames and stuff like that.
So describe to me that jump though. Like, how does this guy from Longview go and work in Oregon?
There was a girl involved as well. And
that's good. That's fair enough. Yeah.
There was first marriage. Went from Longview, Texas, to Eugene, Oregon.
So a Longview girl.
Yeah. No, Kilgore actually. Which is wildly different. I know that's shocking. 20 miles apart, but
well, it's different, man.
Yeah,
it's
it is different.
In San Marcos.
It is strange to think about. I pursued her to Eugene and spent a few years there while she was in college and got a job. How old
were you when you had done there?
Oh, probably 20, 21, something like that. Yeah, I moved cross country in an old Jeep that broke down about every 20 minutes.
Every other state.
Like, pretty much. Got to Eugene, Oregon with $150.
Okay.
I had $150 in my pocket. Had a place to stay. Got a job in an Italian restaurant washing dishes.
All right. Well, so there you go. The industry's coming back.
So I got in there and washed dishes and eventually got into a prep cook job, and that led me to more of, I guess, traditional sous chef job.
Really?
And then
was food becoming of more interest to you at that point, or just
at that time it was more of a necessity. I just had to do what I did. But
gotcha.
There's kind of a running theme here now. In hindsight, it always kind of progressed for whatever reason. I think that may be something more to that if I think about it. But
I hope that this is like a staging area for realizations.
Maybe.
We talk about it. It's all these papers of memories scattered all across. We're like, holy shit, we could like dissect these into little piles, and they all
connecting the dots here a bit.
That's right. Yeah.
These are all memories that I honestly haven't really thought about in quite quite a while.
Okay.
So,
they seem important. I mean, they seem important to me anyway. Like,
for whatever.
Like the total good punctuations, the ends of chapters, the starting of new ones.
For sure. I was fired from that job.
The sous chef gig?
Yeah, because the chef one night was really aggressive with me on a more physical level, wanting to pursue a relationship.
Oh, really?
Of like
was the marriage that took you to Oregon already dissolved at this point?
No, we're still together.
Okay.
The chef was he was an interesting man, and that was
overwhelming.
Yeah, it was a little too much, and I ended up being fired from that job, which ended up being a good thing because I ended up back on the hunt for a job, and ended up at Burley, which is at that time was the world's largest cooperative.
No kidding.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
They made all kinds of products, rain jackets, child. You see bikes with trailers on them. A lot of times that's one of their products.
No kidding. So they're still very active, very big.
They are. They're not a cooperative anymore. They eventually sold out. I actually still have a bunch of their stock.
Oh, no kidding.
It's completely worthless, but it's fun to look at.
It's good to say I own part of this thing, whatever this thing may be.
But it took me down an interesting path. When I was there, I progressed through that company as well. And
this is also we're both divorced.
Oh yeah,
So, but all of this kind of conflict and the kind of what is ultimately the dissolution of this relationship with your first wife, like, is that because of work? Is that because of her? Is that because of the move? Is it because of occupational instability? Like, what would you say?
Wow.
No, I'm blaming her. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, there's I played a role in it for sure. For me, I'd like to think of it as more of like one day I kind of woke up and was just like, wow,
it's different now, right?
Yeah, something's changed. I call it the Great Awakening of like, and I'm done.
Yeah.
It was.
It seems like you weren't. I think it seems like you didn't even like the tires weren't even to the ground yet.
No.
Right? Like you had so much stuff left to do and discover.
Yeah. In hindsight, that relationship was pretty stifling. It's like there wasn't a lot of freedom in it. I think for myself, I didn't even know it. Like you have those great awakenings in life. Literally when you wake up one morning, you're like, you know what? I've just had enough.
I'm cutting my beard.
That's it. Today's the day, and that's pretty much how it went down.
That's
kind of
amazing,
shocking,
though.
actually. It was like
it's admirable how concise it is.
Yeah,
you got to admit, like most people, and you posted something the other day, like people run. It's like hurry up and wait. Why don't you just do? Think about that. That is the essence of just making a decision and going with it.
Yeah, I mean that's my world these days. I'm sure we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But, at that point, I think I was really into work. I actually had an idea of starting my own company within the company.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they like going to give you a department or?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
Since it was a cooperative, there was a lot of conversations about what that would look like, and it took me back into BMX, where we made products basically that were simplified products that were made stateside. That's basically the probably the best way to look at it. Everything from sprockets to handlebars to frames.
Really?
Just kind of the aftermarket aspect.
Actually, if you think about it, like
it is
frames in the States.
Yeah,
it's totally unheard of.
I don't know how many people are actually doing it still. I'm not really all that active in it anymore.
I have a friend that owns Mutiny.
Yeah,
and no, they can't do frames here anymore, but it's changed just in the past 10 years, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. It's not cost effective.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, those are kind of decisions you've got to make. But what's that tipping point for you where like this gig's not working anymore?
Well, at that point, I'd been doing that for a few years, and there was an opportunity to kind of quietly get out of it and be done with it.
Yeah.
Also had a bit of a happening with my father where he'd gotten ill.
Oh, okay.
And at that point, there was a bit of a decision to maybe like, I've been in the Pacific Northwest for like 12 years.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if I can handle the rain anymore. I think it's time to kind of, cut my losses.
Yeah.
So I did, and I came back to Texas. And
was he still in Longview?
Yeah, he was in Longview at that point. And he was apparently sick, according to the VA.
Okay.
And which I think, long story short, it was a prime example of some of the nonsense that goes on with the VA.
Oh, yeah, man.
It
What did they
wasn't,
say was wrong with them?
They said he had a iron or a blood disease, essentially.
Okay.
And they were treating him for that by basically bloodletting him weekly.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how they chose to solve that problem?
Pints of blood.
Are you sure this wasn't like a vampire blood bank?
He was. It's shocking. I mean, they actually got to a point where they were considering, I guess, a chemotherapy of some sort to deal with it.
Which that kind of makes more sense than bloodletting, perhaps.
And literally, though, they were dumping blood out of him like crazy. He was like walking around. Like,
oh my gosh!
It was a crazy time. The funny aspect, I don't think he would think this is funny.
Right.
But I think you have to laugh a little bit, because if you don't, you'll probably cry. But one day he was literally waiting on the doctor and looked over at his file and realized it was a different D.
God,
Murray.
are you kidding me?
I wish.
It's like an episode of Seinfeld, man.
It really was that simple.
Holy shit.
So you can imagine the other one is walking around wondering what's wrong with himself.
Yeah, no kidding. God, if only someone would bloodlet me.
Make it all go away. Yeah. So.
Oh my God! What was he furious? I can't imagine.
If you knew my dad, he actually was mad initially, just probably for a little bit.
Yeah.
But, kind of chuckled about it in the long run.
You found the humor in it.
Are you kidding me? You
know, make more blood.
Yeah. No, you definitely make more blood.
So it was completely bollocks. Like there was no
reason for any of the things they were doing.
So he just got bloodlet.
My dad
VA.
has high blood pressure.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. But you came back anyway because you're a good son. And
I'm in Longview and I'm back. And sorry, let me take a drink.
No, please. Old Charter's not going to drink it. So actually, might drink it soft, depending.
Good.
Keeps getting better.
It's tremendous.
How old were you when you came back to Longview?
Oh,
I was talking 20s still.
Yeah, no. I guess I was 31, something like that. 32, somewhere in there.
Yeah. So things different at that point. You're tired of the Pacific Northwest.
Oh yeah.
You've done with the early 20s, divorce. I mean, you're 10 years past it.
Yeah.
Were you looking for that next thing?
I think I was. I was in tow. Like my girlfriend Elaine was with me at that time. And,
oh, really? So this whole time?
Yeah, during that time in Longview.
Yeah.
She was in for quite the cultural shock. For sure.
Going big to small.
Yeah, it was pretty wild for her, especially she was a couple of years removed from Barnard at that point.
Oh, really?
Like coming from New York City. And, it was quite the shock.
The biggest fish in the smallest pond at that point, I guess.
In hindsight, again, I'm laughing about it, but there were some very unpleasant discussions, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when I got back to Longview, I definitely was kind of trying to figure out what was next, and actually while I was there, I really considered maybe opening up a little neighborhood bar there. And
cool.
Was met with a lot of questions of like, who do you think you are, like kind of stuff. Like,
why would the family or the community?
Oh, I think it was any number of things. It was like
they're not like, that's strange that would be, instead of like, no, you can do this.
Sure, yeah.
But that's not exactly the sentiment.
No, for whatever reason, and
is it because it was booze?
There's probably some of that.
Did your folks drink at all?
No, not really.
Yeah.
But they weren't. I wasn't raised in a house of no's or anything like that.
It just wasn't a thing.
It just wasn't a thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you do it?
No, I didn't actually. I really, in thinking back on it, I wish I would have, but I think it actually worked out. I think things are fine.
We got bars now, and a much more lucrative market.
I think we're doing all right. To one degree or another. Thanks for the perspective there.
Yeah, well, it's something. Yeah, that's all I can do. I'm just.
Yeah.
But so how long was it before? Because I imagine that not in a negative way, but your days are numbered. And
yeah, for sure.
long.
No,
you're not getting support. Like your dad's fine now, right?
My dad's fine. Yeah, and, I see him all the time. He was just here actually this weekend helping me. He comes down
That's cool.
Quite often and helps in the bars, washes dishes.
Does he like it now? He's like, this is great.
Does, yeah, he loves it actually.
That's so cool.
Yeah, super hyper supportive. Him and my mother both are. Very supportive.
I bet they saw that you can do it now.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of that,
He's okay, cool.
Okay,
well, you made it work.
He's got this.
He's got a beard, but we'll let that pass.
Right. Yeah, I think the beard thing is days are numbered. Actually,
I feel you.
Oh, sorry.
It happens, Sometimes you just get rid. It literally is a weight.
Yeah.
As a scratch. Well, so was the next move to Austin from Longview?
Yeah, Elaine got into grad school
at UT or St. Ed's? Or?
At UT for the psych department.
Oh, cool.
And she started that career basically. Grad school was kind of a whole nother commitment.
Absolutely.
And then upon getting to Austin, I found myself looking for work again and ended up working on Red River at a bar called Beauty Bar.
I recall it.
Yeah,
Jason and such. Yeah,
people have heard of this spot.
What were you doing? I played that bar a couple of times, actually. Well, actually, multiple times.
Yeah, I think of how many amazing bands it exposed me to. I think of one that comes immediately to mind is Ume playing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Playing residencies on Sunday nights to no one.
No one knew. Yep. No one cared at that point.
Me and Matt actually being just blown
was
away
Matt
by
there too?
Yeah, me and Matt both were there.
No shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny.
What year are we talking? Because this has got to be like early 2004.
Probably 8 years ago. Somewhere in there, 8 or 9, somewhere there.
That was a place, man. That was
that was a place in time. That is for sure. I Jeremy Cruz. Bart Butler gave me a chance just to sit at the door there, and
that's amazing. There was a singer there too. There's always a singer.
Eric is there.
Yeah.
Okay. Who I'm close friends with to this day. I'm close friends with all of them. What am I saying?
Singers, and I was talking about John Legend being this way.
Yeah.
This will be an interesting thought. Sanger Benjamin Buttons, like he does not age.
He does not. It's true.
Kind of
it's a little
disturbing
weird.
A little bit for me.
It is weird. Actually.
Speaking of bloodletting, perhaps they were letting the blood out for Eric to go and drink.
I think it's probably all the tequila or something. I don't know what it is. He's preserving
Bourbon
himself.
makes you rugged. Tequila and mezcal make you youthful.
Preserves you somehow.
I like it. We're being, what's the word? Poached? Pickled. There we go.
Pickled.
As my grandma would say. Well, so how was that experience? Were you even still at that point like, well, I want to get behind the bar?
Yeah, for sure. I think being at the door, you always kind of just like, I want to work my way through this. That's my mentality. There's a pattern here in my life. And started thinking back to I really like nightlife. I really like bars. I really like what's going on here. And other than, at that time, think about Beauty Bar. At that
I
time.
know, man.
That's crazy.
That was Cocaine Central, dude. Let's just put it.
Pretty
wild
much,
place.
Yeah. Pretty wild is a word for it. But at that time in my life, I was clean and sober.
Yeah. But was it by design, or was there something that drove you to being clean, which is great?
It just was, at that time in my life, it just wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
And I think it was funny for some people at that time, and that naturally the more I was there, those things changed. But the first few years there, I was, nothing.
Stone cold sober.
I'm just sober,
That's right.
I don't even remember if that was a conscious thing or if that was just something that was just me at that time.
Yeah.
But eventually I got the chance to bar back, and then, you learn the ropes through bar backing. That's the only way to go. If you don't know how to properly bar back, what kind of bartender will you ever be?
Absolutely. So let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
So something that I mentioned quite a few times on the show is that if you've never taken a amp, like a 4x12 and a head amp, either bass or fucking those Ampeg. If you want to talk about those 8x4, whatever. So if you've never taken that up a big flight of stairs and set it up and sound checked it, you haven't really paid your dues in the industry, right?
True.
So it's the same thing with barback. And if you haven't got your shoes wet, if you haven't got sticky hands, like if you haven't experienced that stuff, what have you really done?
It's true. If you haven't worked, 5 16-hour days in the middle of South by Southwest, and you're tired and exhausted, and, hungover.
It's a rite of
all
passage.
Of those things. Yeah, for sure.
It's pedigree.
Yeah, it is.
And I am not claiming to have ever done that, but I carried plenty of goddamn heavy amps up that staircase and Lucy's in St. Marcus.
Right. Yeah.
God, that was just a terror. Anyway, I've got my own resentment towards that staircase. But so it was. Did you make that? I mean, obviously you made that shift from bar back at beauty bar to actually making drinks and stuff.
I think after maybe the third time of being spit on, I think that's when I started making the transition.
Yeah.
Being at the door was pretty tough at beauty bar. Like
people just think they're entitled to get in.
I don't remember the last time I got spit on was by some punk rock kid from next door. I don't even remember. I just turned around and got like spit straight in my face. I was like, I have to get away from this door. And that's when I started just like, all right, is there a shift that I can, start working? And eventually just, went that route. I'm an awful bartender. That's what I learned. And
that's why you're in operation.
Now, I think eventually you start figuring out like, whoa, like I'm really bad at that, but I can't do these other things.
Sure.
And that was kind of.
But admitting that you're bad and good at other things, that's actually the key to being good at the other things.
It's true. I think there's a realization at some point of just like, can I bartend? Sure. Do I like it? No. I mean, I can do it, and am I a pleasant person? I can give you pleasant for about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Yeah, I've got it we're still under 2.5, so I still have pleasant Jeremy, which is great. Right now it's great.
So somewhere in there, the later you get into the evening, the more things drop off, of like not really, wanting to deal with things. But I got to a point in that where, funny enough, I got sought out by someone.
Really?
For kind of knowing my way around the bar game a little bit, which is hilarious because in hindsight, I didn't know shit.
You at least looked like you did.
Apparently.
Yet another key indicator of success.
I fooled somebody into something. And I was approached about, helping some guys open a place up over on Rainy Street. Mm-hmm. And that started unfolding, and it took about 26 months to make that happen. The trials and tribulations of that street, unfolding was really difficult.
Because we're talking about Black Card.
Oh yeah.
So that's like old school now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was there when it was just kind of bubbling up into something.
I think it was Luster, Clive, and us at that point. But it could have been us faster. We were just really naive to like how the permit process was going to unfold, and as we got deeper into it, you start seeking out the right people to help you do that. So
you get expediters.
Sure.
Basically. Same thing with the TABC.
You show up with money, you give them the money, and they make it happen.
Yeah. What's nice about technology though? So TABC has, for the most part, at least as a producer, they've electronified all of this stuff now.
Yeah.
So you don't need an expediter.
Huh.
Yeah, you just go online and do it and submit it and done. It's in their database.
Everything, like
not
labeling?
Everything. Just labels are that
labels?
way, which is killer. It's only $10, I think.
That's rad.
And then you can do all of your license permits.
Crazy.
For anybody that's in Texas. Even though some people prefer to do it the old way, no problem with that. Yeah. But I prefer to do it the new way, so I don't have to talk to anybody.
I would agree. I think that if you can do as much of it yourself in a safe way, I think that's
great.
Positive.
Totally good. So what year did Black Card open then?
2012.
2012.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Remember the early days.
March 13th.
Really?
Yeah.
So you would have you just then celebrated your 4th anniversary during South by-ish.
We've never celebrated our anniversary. Actually.
Why is that?
Because it lands right in the middle of South by Southwest.
That's fair.
We are going to celebrate it this year because it'll be our 5-year anniversary. So it has a nice ring to it.
That's good.
I think we're going to do a month's worth of celebrating.
That's
actually
incredible.
So from when South by is done, we're going to go into April celebrating our anniversary.
That's really wonderful.
Yeah.
And so let's think about the state of bars or cocktail bars, because you guys do both, right?
Yeah.
You guys have an exquisite whiskey selection.
I think it's pretty good.
It's real good.
Yeah.
But is that because of you? Is that because of your partners, the people that work there? Because it seems like you're the one kind of curating this.
In the beginning, there was a bit of a group effort for sure. I think Howie played a role in inspiring me to move forward with it. You know, I think Howie's business partner, obviously, definitely encourage some of that behavior. I think I was pretty naive about what was going on in the quote unquote cocktail scene at that point. Coming from where I was coming from,
which was beauty bar, right?
It's like I was fairly naive.
Jack and Coke's great.
Yeah, let's do it.
Ask for a Manhattan, you're screwed.
That's man.
These images just keep flashing over.
There are a lot of stuff like whirling around in my head right now. That's for sure. I think of that time. Sorry, I want to jump back.
No, yeah.
There are so many good memories. Just so many.
That was such a killer place, man.
Yeah, so many. I think it gets beat up quite a bit these days. I think it's a good whipping post.
But if you were there then,
oh man,
then it was the place.
It was. It was a lot of fun.
And I'm gonna regale us with one memory that is not drug related.
Okay, cool.
And I don't do drugs. Sorry to disappoint anybody. I do drink a good bit though, so it balances out. But I remember. Do you remember that movie Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell? Mm-hmm. Really great movie. Emma Thompson's in it. Queen Latifah, ancillary. Oh, and Maggie Gyllenhaal. Great movie. Yeah. So Britt Daniels there were some spoon songs, and he also did some instrumentals. And so the evening of that movie comes out on Friday. Britt is at Beauty Bar.
Yeah.
No one's talking to him. He's sitting alone at one of those like little hairdresser things.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, Beauty Bar really is the place where even celebrities don't get noticed there, It was, celebrity in quotes at that point, right? Yeah. But Spoon's a big band.
They are.
Coachella and ACL and all that. But that was like one of those things I thought was really, really like this kind of gritty view on the society in a sense. Yeah. Like in Austin, we don't really give a shit.
Yeah. You're now I'm thinking back to some interactions. One of them, most notably, was probably MIA.
Oh, is she in there?
Sitting on the patio by herself. Jack White and Elizabeth Shue, similar scenarios.
Elizabeth Shue?
Yeah. Oh, so I think of all those wild things that kind of went on there that were so maybe a little subversive, a little under the radar. I guess those things were kind of one and the same, but there was a lot of crazy stuff like that. Drew Barrymore getting hammered and having to be tossed. Like there's like any number of different things.
It was the place, man. Yeah, like our CBGBs kind of.
It had definitely Paul Devitt. I don't know if you know Paul Devitt.
I don't know Paul, no.
Paul is kind of the mastermind behind all of those.
Oh, okay.
He has a place now in Manhattan called Sid Gold's.
Oh, okay.
Which I hear is kind of carrying on this tradition.
The tradition, yes.
I've been meaning to go, but I have not gone. But
it's nice. It's nice to just have some nostalgia about how Austin was at that point. And, But the thing is, it's not really about Austin. Any place could have been like that. Yeah. I lived in Houston, and there were the similar situations at the Abyss or Emos in Houston. Right. Yeah. So every town's got that. But it's like it's almost this predicate to where culture really thrives, and it becomes, I guess, monetarily viable, supposedly.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, so going back to Blackheart, which is a great music venue. You guys have done good enhancements in the spot to make it sound better, to accommodate more people.
We try.
South by, it was great. Sound was great. Yeah. And that whiskey selection keeps getting curated.
Yeah, I think I think we definitely have help. I think there's a lot of industry help in the sense of the Twin Liquors plays a huge part in it.
Yeah. I think you get access to some great bottles.
I think we definitely do. I don't.
That's
I don't
relationships.
I know we do. It's a relationship for sure.
But you got Jessica,
for sure,
fucking Sandra. You get some great people.
Yep.
But so most people don't get their own barrel.
Sure. Let alone 3.
That's right. Let alone 3.
Yeah. And that's been a process, It's taken a few years to be just like, we're serious enough to have these conversations.
Yeah.
So
that's great. That's exactly it, right? Like, no, if you talk about top 3 whiskey bars in Austin, you guys are there.
Yeah, I hope so.
You have to be. It's an extensive back bar. Yeah. Brilliant. You got so many different genres of whiskey as well. Bourbon, of course, which is closest to my heart, and I think probably yours as well, maybe over Scotch. But you guys it's a destination spot.
It's funny to think of it that way because I don't think of it that way.
Right.
I think of it as more of a kind of a neighborhood spot in my mind because it definitely has this kind of For us, I think we stand out a little bit on Rainy Street. Wouldn't you agree? I think we're standing out a little bit.
Well, I mean, you mentioned, so let's think about this. You mentioned yourself as a black sheep, or maybe not. I mean, Blackheart kind of is.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It's where you go to see music that's not necessarily popular with the other people going to the other places across the street.
Yeah.
You've got a whiskey selection that just basically trumps everybody else's,
I wouldn't say, I started to say it's all over the board. It definitely is curated, and it has to make sense to me. I don't know where that comes from. Some of it literally could be best product for the price.
Yeah, sure.
Like if somebody stuns me with something, yeah, of course.
Might as well.
Yeah, might as well.
Bring it in.
I think I'm constantly being surprised by mid-shelf products.
Yeah.
The Clyde Mays,
which is insane. My brother got me a bottle of the 110 proof, kind of like private barreling or selection for Total Wine. All right. I was like, what is this? And then I tried. I'm like, all right, dude, this is good. It's a 110 too. So those guys, there's some great stuff.
There is some cool stuff in there.
And talk about Dickel for a second. Yeah. People don't necessarily think of Dickel as a high end or a rich whiskey, right? Yeah. But you guys have managed to pick, is it a 9 year? Is that right?
Technically, it says 9 on it, but it's an 11.
Sure. So it's a right. Yeah. But it's a nicely cut, like the color is brilliant.
Sure.
The age is good. And you guys were able to secure 3 barrels of Dickel.
1.
It was 1 barrel.
1 barrel.
Okay. Oh, no. So we're talking, there's the Garrison Brothers.
Yeah, we have Garrison. We also have a Buffalo Trace as well.
You guys got a Buffalo Trace?
We did, yeah.
How does that feel to be a guy that people will negotiate and actually give you a barrel?
The Buffalo Trace thing, I'm still scratching my head on that one, how that actually happened. And it's actually amazing. I actually feel bad I didn't have some to bring with me today.
I will go get some.
Yeah, we definitely should partake in that. How does it feel? I don't know. I think it's also hard for reps to even approach us a little bit.
Are you an Iron Curtain?
We might be a little bit of a weird thing for people.
You have what we want. All right, jog on.
It's one of those things of just we have specific moments in the week where we will talk to people.
Right.
We don't break those. We stay on those.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what they are.
No, sure.
But we don't change. If you want your product, you have to come and have that discussion. It's not coming from a place of arrogance either. It's just
you're just trying to make the best use of your time, right?
Yeah, for sure. And so we do that, and some stuff makes it in, some stuff doesn't. I think we also don't particularly like working with brands.
Yeah.
I think you know what I'm talking about.
I do, absolutely. Producers are different.
Yeah,
those
producers
guys
are different.
Totally different.
Sure.
Which I'm sure you did with Garrison Brothers.
Sure.
Right? We were working directly with them.
Yeah.
But brand people, sometimes they're not awesome.
It's nothing against the Glazers and the Republics.
No, it's a necessary thing.
And all those things. It's one of those things. It's just you don't have a lot of time, and you don't want to have to pull in a product and then be immediately hit with Captain Morgan Black Ball, whatever it is. It's I don't care, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like picking people for a team. It's well, you got to take that guy too.
No,
well, I don't know how this industry works like that. There's no other industry that works like that. It's okay, cool. You want the filet mignon? All right, fine. You got to take the scrapple too. I'm not gonna eat that. Why do I gotta pay for that? Right? You just have to take it. It doesn't make any sense.
It does not make any sense. And
it doesn't make any sense.
We don't do it.
Good.
Don't do it, man. And haven't. And I think it took a couple of years for people to actually realize we weren't going to do that.
Yeah.
And we also don't do bar placements. You want your bottle where? Yeah, no, that really doesn't make sense for the bartender because we need our bartenders to function in the space the best way possible.
Absolutely. That's ridiculous. I just love it. It's can I have the pretty one? Sure. But you got to take the ugly.
But you got to.
Why? What? This is bait and switch.
Right. Yeah. It's stupid.
Terrible.
It's waste of time. Yeah.
Well, so let's grab another sip of the old charter here, and then we're going to talk about Proof and Cooper.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me have some of this. It's amazing.
Oh man, it's my pleasure to be able to share it. So it's different. It tastes from a different era, doesn't it? I think it does.
It's also simultaneously reminding me of something.
Yeah, it's very corny.
can't put my finger on what it is, but yeah, it's an easy drinker. I could see how this could turn into a late night pretty easy.
Yeah, we brought a bottle to my wedding recently.
Really?
I'm actually surprised that I was able to escape with it, like still more than half full.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
On number 2.
Yes. Well, the one that counts, you know?
Yeah.
I say this every time.
Yeah.
Alex Trebek,
Right.
Howard Stern. It's number 2 that counts.
Number 2 that counts.
It totally is. Totally different perspective now. Totally in a different place.
Yeah.
You got to admit, like at 43, mentally it's different than 21.
It is very, very
almost twice as much.
Yeah.
My math isn't good, but that's almost twice as much.
I think so. I think it's somewhere in there. Yeah.
So the vision and the talent gets you to spot number 2.
Yeah, spot number 2.
How long have you guys been working on Proven Cooper? And I know it's open now, doing well.
It is out in the country.
Yeah.
Making waves and pissing people off.
That's good.
It's doing all those things you do that first year. July 4th will be our 1-year anniversary.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's crazy. It's already almost a year now.
It is. Blows my mind, actually.
What was did you want to do something distinctly different with the second location or replicate that same?
Do you want the honest answer?
Yeah, of course I do.
The PR answer?
No, fuck that. Why did you do a second? Why would you do a second bar?
Why? It made sense. It kind of fell in our lap, and I think we were just full of ourselves enough to think we could pull off another spot.
Yeah.
We also got the opportunity to buy the property.
Oh, that's amazing.
Which was a different thing. We also wanted to do something outside of the city.
Yeah.
I think once you deal with the city for a while, you start really kind of fantasizing like, man.
What would it be like if we didn't have to deal with the city?
Deal with these people. I think we did so much dancing with all the the music issues we had for several years. I mean, God.
Oh, man, no kidding. I remember post after post. It's like, half a decibel over. Shut it down, boys.
Such a soap opera,
God, it's just like stupid. Silly. What's the value to that anyway, man? Except just showing you can do that.
Yeah,
it's terrible. Yeah. So what's is it very much in the same vein in the sense like there's music, it's a good whiskey selection?
I would say Proof and Cooper is probably the older brother. It's a little more refined. Refined being that we have taken the time to try and make a good space for people to be comfortable in. Not that Blackheart's not. I mean, if you've ever been to Blackheart, you know that we didn't have the most max amount of funds to do that.
Right, but that's actually part of its charm. I think.
Sure, I agree.
Like woody and kind of, it's just a little bit rested, which is good. Which you talk about these whiskeys. I mean, it's actually perfectly in line with that. Not even to be like funny, but it is. It's very
I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
Proof and Cooper is, Russell is out there, our chef. Doing such a great job. He's taken, I guess a lot of traditional Southern picnic fare and really kind of spinning it and doing a lot of fun things. The fried chicken, obviously, is just stellar. I can't think of another place in Austin or surrounding area and it's not coming from that bias point of view. It's just amazing.
Right. Just is good.
He just knows how to do it. But I mean,
so it was kind of like taking a bar program and saying we're going to do this thing, but also we're going to have elevated food too.
Yeah. We're trying to have elevated food. We have supper clubs out there in the library.
That's great. Okay.
Where Russell really gets to flex his like culinary background.
Yeah.
And we have everything from crawfish boils to 5 and 7 course meals, and it's covering a pretty big gamut out there.
It allows you to be flexible and kind of like extend some creative mind, right?
For sure.
Did you ever think that this you would want to do too?
No. I still scratch my head sometimes that we're even here at this point.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know when this interview is going to come out, but we're about to open up another place.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it public knowledge and everything? Ish,
for sure.
Whereabouts, if you can.
Well, I mean, it's on the east side. I know right now people think, oh yeah, another place on the east side, great.
But if it's anything like the other two spots, it's actually going to be quite unique on the east.
It actually is a great departure, and it actually would be even a further departure from what you see on the east side.
No kidding.
Yeah, so it's
thematically.
This is about my grandmother.
Really?
The whole bar is really coming from a place of like about my grandmother.
What would you say were the things you remember about her most?
This bar is about a crazy, very smart, worldly woman who's been married many times, who's been all over the U.S. Is a bit of an outlaw.
Yeah. A rebel.
Definitely an outside the box kind of thinker.
Yeah.
I think of even to the day she died. The day she died, it was very much like today's the day. So get everybody together. She passed away.
Yeah.
And
did you guys? I always hope that when that happens for me, that we're drinking and having a good time. I imagine she's that same way. It's like, I'm going to a cool place.
Yeah.
You guys have a good time.
I mean, she was in rural Tennessee. That was kind of her home.
Yeah.
Even though she had been all over the place, married many times and probably a lot more worldly than I probably would care to admit, probably even my dad, So this place is it's called Kitty Cohen's, and it's really based on, for the long story short, is the most interesting woman in the world.
Yeah,
basically is
good. We need one, man. I'm tired of that, dude. I'm really tired of it. Man.
I mean, it's light. It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
I feel like there's an element of fun missing. I think you might run into this pretty regularly.
You're right, man.
Yeah,
it's pomposity. Well, I mean, it is accessible, and when you're in the industry, I think it's a good community, so we can be peers and stuff. But still, like the level of how things really take themselves seriously is good and bad.
Yeah,
that's why I like Drink Wall and Backbeat, because
oh my god,
just like they're just making jokes about shit all the time.
Yeah.
It's pun central.
Drink Well, phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean both those places, and it's good because they're just these brain trials, these absolute extensions of the sense of humor of Mikey Jest.
I love sliding in there and not really knowing anyone. I think that's my favorite thing about it.
That's
I know that's a weird thing to say.
No, that's killer.
It's amazing. Those spots are amazing.
It's really, really good. And so back to Kitty Cohen's.
Yeah,
right?
Kitty Cohen's is
it's I have seen it. Yeah, kind of people talking about it. The spots are located. Build out is done.
We're almost done. We're in the home stretch here. Yeah.
And food?
No food. But we're going to be doing pop-ups.
No kidding.
So we're going to schedule chefs and restaurants and stands.
Yeah.
From the perspective of almost like a scheduling of a band.
That's brilliant.
So we have an outdoor kitchen there. People can come in and do conceptual things there for pre-bought dinners and stuff like that.
That's so cool.
So we'll have a food element to the whole thing, but the running theme of the place is definitely that late 70s patio lounge, like hole number 19 kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a popcorn ceiling that's like one of those a sparkly popcorn ceiling and white bar tops and white leather and like a lot of like fun 70s knobs.
Are you doing all right, so here are a couple of things that you might be doing, right? Like I just was curious, right?
Yeah.
You guys doing a Harvey Wallbanger? Because that would make sense.
We are doing one of those, yeah.
Are you doing a grasshopper?
Yep.
Okay.
Did you see the menu out
No,
there?
These are just things from the 70s that Leisure Shoot Larry would get some woman at the bar. And I imagine some tiki?
No tiki.
Okay.
I think we'll probably participate in some fun stuff, specials and stuff like that. But
that's so cool, though.
We're going to do some punches in a fun way, not in a... punch is fun. So let's just talk
punch
about
is
that
always
way.
fun, yeah.
We're also going to be doing some spritzers.
Ooh. All right, that's very
I'm
nice.
really excited about. I know who knew I would be excited about wine spritzers, but I am. A pretty good little rosé program.
That's good. That's great.
Fun stuff.
Good. When do you guys expect? I mean, of course, everybody asks this. But when do you expect that you'll have like a soft opening and kind of a?
I think probably. Couple of weeks from now we'll have soft opening.
That's amazing.
This place is a different kind of vibe in the sense of that there's not a lot of pressure of like gotta get open, there's a bottom line, there's just none of that going on. It's more of just like let's do something that we really want to do and then let's do it right.
The passion project. Well, they're all passion projects, but this is a little bit again flexing some creative muscles, right?
A little bit, which is nice. So
very nice.
Kind of breaking some of those molds a little bit. I really want the emphasis to be fun. I really feel like we've just lost so much of that in the bar, the quote unquote bar scene in Austin. There's a level of seriousness that's almost it's just over the top. I mean, at the end of the day, like this beautiful bottle right here, this little charter. Do you think they made it to look at it?
No fucking way they didn't.
They made it for us to sit here and drink it.
It's a utility product, man.
Like we're supposed to drink this stuff,
Yeah.
not stare it down.
You know how it's gonna be. You're
Sure.
gonna have the hair metal. You're gonna have those guys that want to look good, or these women that want to look good, and they're making stuff that doesn't have a lot of substance. But the stuff that's substantial and has the heart to it, it'll be good. It'll stick around.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. So Kitty Cohen's is I say that so fast. Kitty Cohen's.
Yeah.
It is definitely kind of turning into that passion project for sure.
I think it's going to be a conversation starter,
Maybe.
Drinking a grasshopper with popcorn ceilings. When's the last time you did that shit?
Right.
Most people wore polyester pants last time that they did that.
We're going to have this a thing on the website called Who's Your Kitty? And it's literally stories about who that Kitty Cohen is.
Oh, it's amazing.
You bring up Eric Sanger.
Yeah.
Eric Sanger has a really fantastic story about his neighbor.
Oh, really?
That was totally his Kitty Cohen.
No kidding.
She drank martinis all day, played golf, entertained the neighborhood lads. Nothing over the top.
Sure. But still a bold personality, someone that you remember.
And he has all these wild stories about her.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
Well, it's brilliant. I'm really looking forward to I mean, this is number 3.
It's different to have a bar based on a caricature, you
Yeah.
know. So I mean, it's something a little different.
You never figure you can never pick what the inspiration is.
Sure.
And Blackheart's going to continue to do well. It's a staple. Like I said,
it's a staple. Man.
It's a machine. It's a machine. Despite what kind of woes you may have experienced today with stabbing and all this alcoholics.
Yeah.
Woo! Well, at least we had the bourbon to
for sure.
Mellow.
Thank you again.
That somber. Oh man, it's brilliant, and thank you so much for the bottle of the Dickel, which is when I tried to drink South by, really, really loved it. Dickel is an underdog, man.
Very much.
It really is, and people don't realize. I mean, the kind of resources that they have in terms of space and production capacity, they're going to have consistency, and they're going to be able to put out a good juice.
Have you been to Tullahoma?
No, I need to go.
Yeah, you should check it out, man, for sure.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I actually did. I paused for a moment only because it was hard to get to.
Was it really?
I had to. Well, I was in a part of Tennessee where I had to navigate down into Georgia and back up, and it was kind of a long day, but it was really worth the drive. I really got some interesting treatment while I was there, in the sense of they were excited to have me, even though it was late, and it was just really down home. It was great, just a really good experience. Good people. I think they also did really well when they landed Atlanta.
Yeah,
I think Atlanta's
an amazing advocate for whiskey, but she's a great personality too.
Yeah, so she's been huge for them, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and me.
An ex Blackheart lackey too.
She was, yeah. We had her behind the bar.
It's all coming together.
She was there. That's for sure. We miss her from time to time.
She'll be back, but in a different capacity, right?
For sure. Yeah, she's actually been really chasing me down for events lately. Like she always wants me to come to whiskey events, which I'm
no problem with that.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I usually go to them and drink a beer and leave early, which she hates. So.
Who does this guy think he is?
Who is this? Why does he do
Sip
this
the whiskey, goddammit. It's out there right in front of you. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, I hear that there's some other event for you this evening. Perhaps you'll drink a beer. Perhaps you'll drink some whiskey.
Yeah. We'll hang out with the Jim Beam folks
That's
and
good.
See what's what.
You're one of the whiskey guys now, man.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
It's nothing to scoff at.
It's funny. I find it really funny.
Sure.
So yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I find it
fortuitous.
Really, yeah. I think I've had Chris Bostic's ear a few times. I'm like, what is like? People are crazy. Like we just order it and sell it. Like leave me alone, kind of thing. He's like, no, that's where it all begins, man.
That's where it all begins. He gets it, man. It's funny, and that's a great company, like just to be on with that street.
Yeah.
But you guys have the barrel of the Buffalo Trace, which I have to try because it's my favorite sipping bourbon, just hands down. The Dickel is exceptional. You have that Garrison Brothers bottle as well. I know there's gonna be more shit, so just let me know.
For sure. Yeah. No, there definitely is some stuff in the works right now, which is kind of funny. It's hard to wrap my head around. But
Bar 3, new barrels. I mean, there's a lot going on, Jeremy.
Yeah, there's Blackheart, Proof and Cooper, Kitty Cohen's. Another project is out there right now. I don't know how that's going to happen. I'm kind of maxed out right now with the 3.
I know. It feels like that, but then something frees up.
Yeah.
And you keep moving.
put out some records last year.
You did?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
As a player, as a producer,
No,
as a distributor?
As a producer, technically.
No shit.
Yeah. Blackheart put out Mrs. Glass live at Blackheart.
Okay.
We put out Sweet Spirits live at Blackheart.
That's amazing.
Man, I should have brought those for you now that I think about it. And also, me and Jonathan Terrell put out his record.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So I did that last year.
So the music, you think it's going to overtake the booze at some point?
No, I will not get into.
I think that's a handshake, a very delicate handshake between the money that's generated by booze and the lack thereof in the music industry.
Yeah. They're fun.
Yeah. One hand washes the other in that
that's
case.
That's about all I can say about that right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let me know and send them over. And
yeah.
I'd love to check it out. But it's been brilliant chatting. And the only last question I have, and I think maybe some people have this kind of question.
And this was long. How long was this?
No, it's not that long.
Okay,
just over an hour. Yeah.
Perfect.
So Snowman is not your last name.
No, Snowman is not my last name.
You mentioned your dad's last name, which I can go back and look. I presume it's your same last name.
That is my name, actually. Hopefully you edit that out.
Sure. Sure. You wait for like the Prince kind of effect? You want me to like make sure that no one gets your last name?
I appreciate it. That'd be great, actually. The Snowman thing comes from you mentioned Eric Singer. It's crazy how many times Eric's come up in this.
Don't tell him. He's just gonna feel good about himself.
This is really good for his ego right now. Me and Eric have been good friends for a long time, and the Snowman thing came out of a drunken brunch.
I see. Okay.
And at that time, I was still, I talked about how I was pretty clean in the sense of like I wasn't drinking and like the beauty bar days. So there was kind of this random Snowman kind of name that came out.
Okay.
And it just stuck. It really has continued to kind of just be in the background. It's kind of funny. You know, I mean, like the fact that Lana was like calling the Dickel Snow Select is really hilarious to me. You know, and
the
it
brand,
works.
It just keeps thriving.
The brand of Snow Select.
Well, let me also contribute to the mystique, and I'll cut out any reference to you ever existing. How's that?
That's tough, man. That's really tough.
You're being erased.
Yeah. Scary and somehow kind of interesting at the same time. That's plausible.
Just you tell me where you want it to land, man. I'll cut whatever out.
It's Eric played a big role in that, and now Eric likes to say, you know, we were just somewhere a few days ago, and he introduced me. He's like, "Oh, this is Snowman," and they like looked at me. I was like, "Jeremy," and they were like, "Oh, good to meet you." And he's like, "Yeah, we call him Snowman because he's a horrible racist. So keep an eye on that." I'm just like,
all he sees is white.
I was just like,
everywhere.
Here we are again. You know, it's like he loves to use that as comic relief with Eric Singer.
Always,
so,
dude. Well, thanks for sharing the bourbon with me. Thanks for sharing the Dickel, and can't wait to see Kitty Cohen's. Yeah. Let me know when there's a soft opening, whatever.
I will.
Love to come check it out and drink a Harvey Wallbanger, because despite how ridiculous a Galliano glass is, that drink is delicious.
It is a good drink. Yeah.
It's very delicious.
Or a wine spritzer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way works.
Yeah.
Lovely. Looking forward to it, man. Thanks so much for chatting.
Thanks for doing this, man.
Sure. Well, there we go. What do you guys think? I think it was a really riveting chat. I've been around Jeremy many times, especially at the Black Card for birthdays, for shows, South by Southwest, and he has so much depth, such an interesting backstory, and I'm always just kind of intrigued by people that grow up in the church. You know, where do they go? Where do they come from? And it sounds like it's still a very great upbringing with lots of twists and turns, not to dramatize it, but very interesting stuff. And I will say this, and I continue to say this, Blackheart on Rainy Street has one of the best selections of whiskey in the city, if not in the state. And, it goes without saying that Kitty Cohen's, as a homage to the 70s cocktails, there's even a jacuzzi in the back of the bar. I mean, this is insane. It seems like a really wonderful place and perfect time to open in the midst of summer, get some nice white wine spritzer cocktails. So thanks everybody for listening to Show to V. No matter how sore you're feeling after Tales of the Cocktail, or thinking about when the Stranger Things Season 2 will debut, please keep dancing.